I just got on this horse, just now getting her to move around and warm up. This is Maria. I had her a while back. She just came back for me to bring her along a little bit further in her training. She had a lot of issues the first time. Scared of cows, scared to be saddled, just kind of worried about everything in general. So I got that started, got a little bit of control on that so that the owners could walk her around, trot her around, steer around, and ride her and be relatively safe. So now she came back, and our goal now is to work her into the lope. So as I'm trotting her around, I did put my heavy snaffle on her today, heavy snaffle bit, just so I can kind of pull her head around. As I'm trotting her around, I'm wanting her to push with her back end. She has trouble with her coordination. When I ask her to lope, you'll see that she won't know what to do with her feet, but she don't want to transition into it. See, her head's all over the place, not using her body very correctly. So we're gonna keep working on that. Keep working on getting her to use her body correctly so that the lope becomes easier. There's kind of a sweet spot in the trot where you want them to be putting enough effort into the trot that they want to lope, but not so much that the front end is pulling hard and the back end is not pushing. To get a good transition to the lope, you have to have the back end to push. I want her moving around, want the back end pushing. She's looking at the cows over there eating. This is progress. She wouldn't even come on this end of the arena before. Keep going, keep going. Keep going. I've been working her some. She knows she's going to be asked to lope. She don't like doing it because she feels uncoordinated. So it's kind of one of them things. The only way to get better coordinated is do it. I'm going to do a couple turns on the fence, see if I can get her pushing with the back end. Push, push. See, I don't have any push there. It's almost like it takes her a minute to get wound up. Got a little speed. She acts like she wants to lope. Let's see what we get. There we go. Wasn't bad. Wasn't bad for her, put it that way. At this point, I don't really care what lead I get. We just need to lope so that she can get her coordination going. I'm using half halts to kind of regulate her speed. One of the typical things, I've talked about this at a trot, and the same thing holds true for a lope. Horse speeds up when they feel like they're going downhill because the back isn't rounded, not really pushing good from the back end. As she lopes, she kind of continually speeds up for the same reason. Her back's not rounded. Front end is kind of going a little bit faster than back end. That's all that coordination. And she kind of continually goes to speed up. I'm using kind of little half halts and touching her nose to the fence. Let's go. Go. to help regulate her speed. Getting a little fast now. Follow out a lead. Crossfiring there. All her coordination. Let's see what we can get. See if we can lope back. She prefers to lope this direction for some reason. Turn into the fence. And that's where it go. There we go. She is letting me steer her a little bit. Now we're cross firing again. She's holding her speed a little bit better. Now we're speeding up. Now let's ask her to turn the fence. There we go. Now I'm gonna ask her to walk one time. I don't want her loping every time we go down there. So now we're gonna walk. And when she lopes, when she's turned out, she crossfires a lot. She's not very coordinated, just loping her on her own without the rider. She doesn't do it very much. Her particular, just the way she is, how she's bred. They're not bred because they're good movers. They're bred because they're pretty. So I said a minute ago that she was crossfiring. And what crossfiring means is that she's in the front in one lead and the back in the other lead. I did a video not too long ago talking about leads. Horse being in the left lead or the right lead. But a horse like her or a horse that don't have their body set up correctly often will crossfire. The one end to be in one lead and the other end to be in the other lead. It's kind of feels like riding your four-wheeler with 4 flat tires. So it's pretty bumpy when they do that. And at this point, I'm not going to break her down to fix it, because I need forward. She's just now really giving me forward. She's just now giving me effort even at departing into the lope. Now once I feel like I have that effort, once I feel like I can squeeze her into the lope more consistently, then I will start fixing the crossfire. But what'll happen, if I ask her to lope off and she crossfires, then I pull her back down to fix the crossfire, she's not gonna understand if she's being pulled back up to fix the crossfire or if she's being pulled back down because I didn't want her to lope. So at this point, I need her to know and be solid with her cue to lope, which right now is just squeezing her because I want the impulsion from the back. If I just use a smooch, and you notice I'm not using a smooch at all, I'm just sending her forward with my legs because I need the back end to engage. Let's see if I can get it without doing the roll back on the fence. Go, squeeze. I'm kind of bumping a little bit. Squeeze. We're almost there. There we go. I'm gonna get out here and fix my cones. Somebody was turned out last night. And we're going to crossfire again. See, when she crossfires, she's uncomfortable. Now we're back in the right lead. Now we're crossfiring. When she's crossfiring, she's uncomfortable too. And what causes the crossfire is the back end not being engaged. If we want the left lead, the hip needs to come to the left and engage to open up the left side to get the left lead. She don't have that engagement. That's where I lope again. She's not maintaining that engagement. So she falls out of lead or falls down the trot like she did right there. You notice I'm not pulling back to stop. That's really important in this situation. If I pull back to stop, With both reins, just pull straight back. She's going to push more with her face. That in turn is going to put more weight on her back end, on her front end, and going to disengage her back end. I've talked a lot about this, lunging and working on the ground, why I never disengage a back end when I'm lunging. This is a prime example. Right now, her back end is not engaged enough. And that's why I'm getting some of the issues that I'm getting. So I'm definitely not going to pull back with both reins to make that problem worse. Tip her nose to the fence a little bit. I can use little half halts to regulate her speed. But even when I half halt, I tip her nose just a little bit. Like there's tip to the left. It isn't much, but it's just enough to tip her nose to the left, lift this shoulder up. So when I'm half halting, I'm lifting the shoulder. Every time I make contact with her face, I'm going to help her body get in a better position. If I'm not helping her body get in a better position, I'm just keep encouraging her to do the wrong thing. There's no sense in continuing to encourage the wrong thing. I need to be doing all of this in a way that encourages the correct thing. So to encourage the correct thing, I'm not going to pull back with both reins. We'll get some order when we're done. I'm not going to pull back with both reins. And when I do want to control speed, I'll tip her nose a little bit, half halt. If I want to come down to a trot, turn towards the fence. Same thing that you see me use the fence a lot in a lot of my videos. With these horses that don't know how to stop good yet, like her not stopping the lope. She stops nice at a trot, but she don't know how to handle her body at a lope. So I'm not going to ask her to stop at a lope. We're going to turn the fence. Turning into the fence encourages the correct body position to become stopped. Stopping, the act of stopping, is a forward motion. You're continuing to move forward from the time you start to ask for the stop until the time you become stopped. So the act of stopping is a forward movement. You have to, that's important, and that's a concept a lot of people don't get. You're not stopped until your forward movement stops. So you have to ride the stop as a forward movement. Real important concept there that a lot of people don't get. Let's ask one more time. Turn her towards the fence. Helps to lift her middle, engage her back, and ask for some impulsion. That felt like a much better departure there. I felt her shoulders come up into me when she departed. All kind of crossfire. She just don't know what to do with her body. And let's come down to a walk. I'm impressed that she come right here by the cow. There's a cow right there. If you remember right, let's rest here just a minute. If you remember right, I need to cut these popcorn trees out of my arena. They're getting to be a problem. If you remember right, she tried to jump out of the pen, or wanted to jump out of the pen before, when she was even further away from the cow. Let's stand right here a minute. Let's really encourage her wanting to be by the cow. This is the little things that a lot of people just skip when they're riding. This is so important. We just did something really hard going back and forth. It's time to give her a chance to rest. Let's rest her by the scary object. Let's rest her by the cow. Now, I continue to do this. I start making her work hard. She's going to start being like, well, where's that cow? I want to stop and stand. So use some psychology, work her mind, rest her by the cow. Now I'm going to encourage that even more by stepping down off of her. So now not only did she rest by the cow, but we got to quit by the cow. Look how relaxed she is. She's even scratching her ear on the fence. That cow is basically a non-issue at this point. So this is Maria. I'll put a link to the other videos that I've done with her. Until next time, thank you for watching.